What is the best way to get better at something?
Earlier this year I worked in a video for a golf teacher. On shooting day he talked a lot about how to swing properly, of course, and how to get better at it. He also invited us, me and the production team, to a beginner's course where we had the chance to learn it ourselves. And the way he taught us how to swing still sticks in my head.
He advised us to shortly rewind after every single swing, so we can ask ourselves, did that feel good? In this moment I realized that's also how photography works. You take a photo, you look at it, you decide whether it's a good or a bad one, then you adjust parameters like camera settings, perspective, light and so on. Then you take a new photo and the feedback loop starts again.
So the only thing to do to achieve a better golf swing is to repeat this feedback loop over and over again. Means in order to repeat this feedback loop and get better at swinging, you have to repeat the actual swing. Translated back to photography, this means I have to take photos over and over again. Yeah, that's it. That's the whole magic. So let's talk about how to maximize your frequency of feedback loops. For now it's about quantity. That may sound a bit weird because art should always be about quality and so on, but what we want now is to produce, not create, but produce as many pics as possible. Some of them could turn out as great photographies, but most of them won't. The point here is to get a feeling for what you are actually doing. And this is not just a tip for beginners, this also helps me whenever I feel uninspired. In order to do this, you have to have your camera with you all the time. You go to the grocery store, take your camera with you. You go to school, take that camera with you. You missed your last bus and now you have to walk, you better got a camera with you. What I want to say is that there are so many unique situations every day and everywhere. You just have to find them. And when you find them, it would be a shame not to have a camera with you that captures this unique moment. Conclusion: always have a camera nearby.
One tiny little thing I noticed for myself is that I tend to shoot more whenever I got my camera right in my hands, rather than stored in my bag. Having my fingers so close to all those buttons makes me a bit jittery and nervous. I get the desire to use them. You can compare it to a remote control, which you only grab with your hands when you have to use it. So walking around with a camera in my hands at any time definitely boosted my photographical output by a lot.
So now you maximized your frequency of feedback loops and your photographical output. But how did this make you a better photographer?
Because you got a lot more pictures to evaluate. This way you slowly develop your own criteria for good photos. By operating your camera more often, you gained a lot more experience with it. So you got more familiar with your main tool. By repeating your feedback loops over and over again, you became more consistent in your work. Creating stunning compositions is easier now because you practiced it so many times. You also became faster in your actions, and changing settings inside your camera doesn't take as long now. Last but not least, you sharpened your perception, seeing more and more interesting compositions and sceneries that you probably wouldn't notice before.
And there is a little bonus effect. By implementing this procedure into your daily life, you also get a bit fitter because of the distance you will walk. Now that you know the secret trick, quit the internet for today, grab your camera and go outside. As always, feels kind of weird to say this yet, but as always, thank you for your time and bye. Doch, nice.